MatPat, the face of game theory, just recently announced his retirement. Actually, as of recording, he announced it today. So today's video is going to be a little bit different because I wanted to share some of my thoughts about MatPat, about his effect on me personally, his legacy. This is kind of going to be somewhat self-reflective a little bit as I, think about my history as a content viewer, but also as a content creator. Bear with me. I hope I don't become too self-indulgent. I will do my very best to keep things on focus, on task. But this is not going to be my usual stuff. Mythology, history, lore. It's not going to be that. So I'm just going to start. As you might have guessed, I was personally inspired by game theory and by Matthew Patrick specifically. In his video, he mentions that sometimes when he meets people, they say that, you were my childhood. And I can't say that he was my childhood. His videos, I think he started releasing his videos in like 2011. I was about 17 at the time, so not my childhood. But I discovered him pretty early on in college. Discovering his channel had a huge impact on me. For a number of reasons, one, I loved his content. I've always loved stories, and especially as I was going to college, I was doing what all college kids do, trying to figure out who I was and who I wanted to be, both as a man, as a person, but also as like in a career. What do I want to do? I kind of flip-flopped a few times from being a director to being an actor. I even dabbled in writing. I have a short story out there somewhere in the universe. But when I discovered his content, YouTube was a different place. At least my YouTube experience was. For me, for my stuff, YouTube was dominated by a lot of Let's Players, and I wasn't really super into YouTube quite yet, but I discovered game theory, and it was one of the first times I watched a YouTube video that not only did I enjoy, obviously there were a lot of YouTube videos before then that I enjoyed, but I thought to myself, I can tell this guy's put in a whole bunch of research, a whole bunch of time and dedication and thought into what he's saying. MatPat specifically with game theory, it felt different. It was exciting. It was new. At least for me, for YouTube, it was a unique take on stories. You took these classic characters, video game characters, and you looked at them in a different light. And I loved that. I thought that was so cool. I remember sharing it with a lot of my friends, and getting excited. I was probably a little bit annoying at that time as well. Watch this guy. And not again. I don't want to. That's what you do when you find something exciting. Anyway, so during the transition between, from college, you're kind of looking into what career path you're going to be taking. MatPat was definitely one of the inspirations that I had for staying within the YouTube space. There were also some other things that happened as well. I had a good friend, Duke. He wanted me to edit for his new and blossoming channel, One Shot Questers. I still sometimes put that on my portfolio, my resume. Since then, and since kind of getting into this YouTube creator space, I've had, at this point, 2 different full-time jobs, a previous one and a current one that I'm working on. And on top of that, this as well, that have all been YouTube. For my career, I've always worked in the realm of YouTube. And I actually am very grateful for MatPat when it comes to that as well, because of a lot of his videos that he did analyzing the creator space in YouTube, analyzing what the algorithm is doing, analyzing, what the audience is looking for. I genuinely appreciated a lot of the work. And I appreciated it because it's so easy to take all that knowledge and then hoard it for yourself to make your channel the best. But he shared it with everyone. He didn't have to. That wasn't necessarily what his channel was about. He would have made just as much money if he wouldn't have done that as he would have if he did. And I cannot thank MatPat enough, because not only was he helpful for me to figure out what I wanted to do when I was, in college, he then helped me figure out, as I was doing what I wanted to do, how to do it better in my career. Kind of backtracking a little bit, talking about One Shot Questers. I still collaborate with Duke as regularly as we both can. He now has a baby, and I have a full-time job, and we live in completely different states. So it's not easy to collaborate very often, but when we do, every once in a while, it's not happened very often, but it has happened more than once. There have been a few times where people have commented on his page, "Are you with MatPat? Is that MatPat?" I think one of them was the cooking video. He did a hugely successful cooking video where he made food from the Heroes cookbook, I believe is what it's called, the D&D cookbook. In that video, someone was like, that's got to be MatPat. I didn't know you knew MatPat. I was so flattered. I was like, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And actually, because of that, when I'm on his channel, I sometimes refer to myself as the off-brand MatPat or the good value MatPat. I'm MatPat at home. And I don't know, now that he's retired, I don't know if I'm going to keep doing that. I might. There's a good chance that I'll keep doing it. I haven't fully decided yet. It's completely out of respect because I know that my content is similar but different. And I also know that my personality is similar but different. And even the way that I look is similar but different. So anyway, moving on. In fear of redundancy, I will state that MatPat and game theory were the biggest sources of inspiration for this channel, because he inspired me to look at the lore of video games and the history of video games and movies in a different way and be able to analyze them and put my own unique spin on them. And granted, we went different ways, right? But it's because of him, and it's because of his unique approach to looking at games and movies and going, that's not the full story. I want to explore that a little bit more. I want to overthink it. Without him, I don't think that this channel would exist. And it's a new channel, right? It's still in its infancy. And without him, I wouldn't have thought of the idea, and I wouldn't have thought that there is an audience of people who would be interested in this kind of content as well. I mean, I probably would have thought I'm weird for wanting to know about this, but then I see, that there's a whole community of weirdos like me who are interested in this kind of stuff too, and I'm like, yes. So, and I just want to say that I'm so excited for the things that he's going to create now that he's stepping back from such a active position at game theory. He's going to have more time to be able to explore different avenues of creativity. I'm so excited to see where those avenues take him. And I'm also excited to see where the team goes with the different theory channels. I'm excited to see what new things the hosts bring to the show. I'm definitely going to be watching. I'm excited to see where everything goes from here. I doubt he'll ever see this video, but regardless, I want to express to him, as I'm sure many other content creators and content viewers want to express to him as well, MatPat, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for everything you've done. Thank you for making YouTube a warm and inviting place, murderous animatronics aside. Thank you for inspiring so many of us to rethink so many things, movies, games, life, sometimes. And thank you for continually being a voice for the YouTube community, for, standing up for so many people, and just for all the things that are uniquely you. Your dad jokes, your enthusiasm, your optimism for the future. You've inspired a generation of content creators. And yes, that definitely includes the new hosts of your theory channels. But I hope you know this. You've inspired so many more than that. YouTube has so many videos out now that I can only say are directly or indirectly inspired by you and your work. I've seen so many game lore channels, movie theories. I remember watching a whole video about the ecosystem of Subnautica. And I don't think that kind of content would exist without the content that you created first, opening the door and showing that people are incredibly interested in these kinds of things. And you have absolutely inspired me. Not just the kind of content that I wanted to create for my YouTube channel, but in general, just to create and just to be excited about creating and always being excited about learning and trying new things and experiencing life as full as I can. You've absolutely inspired me, and I'm sure countless others. And I'm sure that I'm going to continue to be inspired by the various projects that you continue to do. I'm so excited to see what projects you're working on. You've announced some of them already, and I do hope that you include some interesting real-world lore that I can look at the origins of and dissect that way. But I want to bring it back and say thank you again, MatPat. It's absolutely bittersweet to see you go. You've made such a huge impact on the internet and on the lives of so many people. You've made an impact on the world, and you were so incredibly thankful for us, and I think the sentiment is returned. We are so incredibly thankful for you and for everything that you've done and everything that you've sacrificed for us. But I mean, I guess that's just a theory. I can't do the same voice as you. I'm going to try. Hold on. But that's just a theory. A game theory. Thank you. And see you guys.